think there is more theater involved in it than we probably like to admit or like to talk about. And I think the same thing holds true when we put on our shows and our tours. We go to a great extent to make it more than just songs, to, make sure that the visuals surrounding each song, are interesting and kind of magical in some other way. I think we never discuss this in open terms, but I think there is, far more a cinematic quality to what we do, and I think that is kind of the underlying way we structure songs to a large degree.
At such a young age, knew that this is what you wanted to do and had to apply yourself, not just in terms of personality, but professionally too.
Well, I feel like we were lucky because we got obsessed with this at such a young age. And I see other friends I have that, have tried something for a while, then gone on to something else, and, bounced around. And, I didn't have all that in my life. I knew what I wanted to do, and it was kind of easy for me in that regard. I was lucky in the sense that I succeeded at it, but the fact that I knew what I wanted to do originally just made my life's choices that much easier. And I think that's, all the bands that were my heroes growing up all had that sense of special events. And when I went to see them, Pink Floyd, Jethro Tull, Yes, all those progressive bands of the early 70s and so forth. And their shows were always more than just a bunch of music. There was always some special presentation and something that took you totally away with it. And I think those are the people that taught us what we do. We've tried to carry on that tradition to a certain degree. One thing about Neil, he's a consummate professional. He's such a pleasure to work with, and over the years, he's been increasingly more concerned with my ability to put emotion into what he writes. So we go back and forth right up until the final take of a song. We're constantly rewriting little things. It's a funny thing, progressive rock, because it's an easy thing to pursue. It's an easy thing to make fun of because a lot of the progressive bands try to be overtly intelligent sounding or intellectual. Listen, it's like, look at our arrangements, they're complex. Listen to our lyrics, they're, worldly and spacey and so forth. Our genre of music, doesn't, have any kind of doesn't corner the market on intelligence. Music is music. Some of it's good, some of it's vacuous, some of it's, more intricate. So, I think over time, that whole aspect of things have been played down by us, certainly. And, we just are interested in writing good music and hoping that what we have to say in our songs has some meaning to somebody. If there's any answer to the question, is there any validity? Well, it's all about the work. Do you enjoy the work? Is the work you're doing good? And are you loving what you're doing? And that's all you can hope for, really. And, the answer to both those questions is pretty affirmative for us. Again, we're pretty lucky in that regard.